Welcome to High School Sports on the Hartford Cable Network. As you can tell, we're indoors here in the pool area at the Magnolia Middle School. Larry Dukes, it's a wonderful thing tonight because it is a true UCBAC competition. We have a couple of Cecil County teams, so it's not only a Hartford County championship, but it is an UCBAC championship.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of the first times that, in our experience, that we've actually been here for both the Cecil County swimmers and the Hartford County swimmers.
And what excitement we look like we're going to have tonight, because you look at C. Milton Wright, they have won 11 consecutive meets here, winning the championship. Tonight, they're coming in third place. Last night, Patterson Mill won for the first time the boys competition, and C. Milton Wright and Bel Air were second and third.
Yeah, a really unique setup for tonight in that we've never had this before, at least in my memory, Don, where we have a team that's in third place that could contend for a championship, and some other teams that could also. So it could be a really exciting night.
It is going to be an exciting night, having Patterson Mill win the girls, and they won the girls competition, I should say the boys competition. They won it by a whopping 68 points. So they've got a huge lead, but yet it looks like Bel Air, which is in third place, C. Milton Wright in second place, they have an honest shot of coming all the way back and maybe winning overall.
Yeah, it sounds like a big number, that 68, but really in one event. You know, one little slip of a swimmer leaving early in a relay, and the difference could be 40 points. So anything can happen tonight, Don.
And we saw that happen last night. The Bel Air Bobcats, they had a DQ in the first event, the 200-yard medley relay, and so they lost 30 points. And so the fact they could be coming in tonight in second place rather than third, where C. Milton Wright is second.
Yeah, that makes it really unique in the fact that it's anybody's meet, which makes championships even that more exciting.
Well, this is an exciting event. 11 events. We go all the way from the 500-yard freestyle relay, which takes, it seems, forever, to the 50-yard freestyle relay, which takes about a nanosecond.
Yeah, the 50 free is going to be done in less than 30 seconds. The 500, we hope, the best swimmers are going to be under 5 minutes, but it seems like an eternity sometimes.
Larry Dukes, we really appreciate you being here. Your expertise is always so invaluable to us. It's going to be so much fun for the historical perspective and the fact that, yeah, we don't think we're going to have any new records established. It doesn't look like in the prelim times, but you just never know. Somebody could have a special night.
Yeah, you really don't know. A kid can pop a time at any point. What we're going to see is a lot of close races. The seed times for these swimmers are within sometimes hundredths of a second from each other. So no matter what, it's going to be a great night of swimming.
Well, that's a very good point. This is the end of the season because the qualifiers go to the region championships and then to the state championships coming up in a couple of weeks each. So this is sort of, yeah, it's a culmination of the regular season, but there's more in the postseason as well.
Yeah, these kids are tapered and ready to swim, and so the coach has done a great job getting them prepared for tonight, and we should see some exciting times.
Larry, you're a longtime swim coach. You know that most of the really good swimmers, it's a lifetime, year-round event for them. In other words, they swim during the fall, during the winter, during the summer. Very seldom do you see like free sport athletes being really good in swimming.
Yeah, and that has been something, that the fact that people have now specialized in certain sports. I really like the multi-sport athlete. But this is an opportunity. You will see some multi-sport athletes in here tonight doing some special things as well. But for the year-round swimmer, they've been training, and there's something special about the high school championships.
And you know, the camaraderie that occurs between these teams, they root for each other. We're going to see a lot of the boys champions coming back here tonight to root on their teams. In fact, you'll have a chance to interview some of the boys champions from last evening. Yeah,
it'll be fun to hear their perspective on how last night went, how they're preparing for the next meet, and see them cheer on their teammates on the girls' side.
Absolutely. So Patterson Mill wins last night, 369.5. C. Milton Wright 311. Bel Air 277.5 in the boys event. Tonight it's all over again. The girls start afresh, but again the combined score will determine who the championship is.
Right. So we're in for some ups and downs. We expect the lead changes to happen in the overall meet. So we'll keep you abreast of everything that's happening.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Stay tuned. It is the 2020 UCBAC Swim Championships from Magnolia Middle School. We'll be right back with the first event. Well, welcome again to Magnolia Middle School. Larry Dukes, I am so excited about this event tonight. Number one, we get to do the girls event. Last few years we've been doing boys because they've had the girls on Tuesday and the boys on Wednesday. This year, Deb Bossler switched them around, so we get to do the girls. Also get to interview some of the boys champions, so we're happy about that.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and you know, we're got beautiful weather outside, so well, not really beautiful. It's raining, but it's not the ice and snow that we've had a couple years and actually got canceled. Yeah,
you're right. Looking at tonight, C. Milton Wright, of course, the odds-on favorite every year. They've won 11 straight county championships, and now it's the UCBAC. This year they're in third place after the boys' events, a long way behind, 80-some points behind. Can they make it up? Can they end up being, the champions again? Well, that's going to be a tall order. And now here is our national anthem to honor our country. This is Miss Elizabeth Fisher from Falston High School. Hey, great job. And you notice she's in her swim outfit. She's going to put down her clarinet, and then she's going to be involved in the 100-yard fly event. So not only does she play the national anthem, she'll jump in the pool. I should mention Falston High School is the host school here tonight, even though we're at Magnolia Middle School.
Yeah, and I think she's a sophomore, right?
She is a sophomore, yeah. I was talking to her about how she got into. She said started in 4th grade and it sounded terrible. She said it sounded like cats scratching one another and yelling, and it got better and better. Now she's in the Hartford Youth Orchestra. She also plays the saxophone. Wants to go into government, maybe business. Only a sophomore. She's already got that planned out.
Pretty amazing, and you do find with swimmers that they are multi-talented people, and also, not to sing praise for the sport I love, but I find that exceptionally well in the classroom as well.
Yeah, the kind of camaraderie that is built. You'll notice that a lot of the boys are going to be here tonight rooting on their teams. We're getting ready now to see 2 heats in the first event, which is the girls' 200-yard medley relay, starting with the backstroke, then the breaststroke, then the fly, and then the free. So it's again 200 yards, meaning that what you go up once and back once, each one does. We're underway. This is the slower of the 2 heats. Haverty Grace is in lane 1. Lane 2 is Bohemia Manor, one of the Cecil County teams involved. Lane 3, North Hartford. Lane 4, Edgewood. Lane 5, Aberdeen. So again, they qualify. The faster times are in the middle of the pool. Larry, I've never understood that. Why do they put the faster times in the middle of the pool?
Well, the pool in its design, you get the flattest water in the middle of the pool because when they're swimming, the water moves while you have lane lines that take the waves out of the pool. They also, as you can see from this view, the water will push up against the wall and then come back at the swimmers. So
if you don't qualify the fastest, you have to
endure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're now doing the breaststroke. Back was the first, of course. And now come the butterfly will be the 3rd stroke.
Yep, the early lead here out in lane 4 is by Edgewood.
Yeah, Edgewood, who's qualified at 2:12.72.
Actually, down here in lane 1, right in front of Haverty Grace.
We were talking about that. My goodness, their qualifying time was at 2:18.55. Just to give you some idea, the record held by C. Milton Wright, 1:55.24, established back in 2013.
Yeah, the swimmers tonight will be hard pressed to get down to those levels. We had a run a few years back where we had some very fast swimmers in the county, and their records are holding up right now. But you never know, Don.
And again, we have to watch for the disqualifying, because we had that happen last night in the boys' meet where Bel Air's in the 200 relay They had a disqualified, which cost them about a total of 60 points. 30 points taken away from them, 30 points given to C. Milton Wright. Or otherwise, we could have had Bel Air in second place and C. Milton Wright in third.
Yeah, and you want to, on this takeoff here, as they're coming in for this, well, actually, you won't see this as the final leg.
It is.
We're going to get.
Looks like Havre de Grace is going to win this particular
well,
heat.
I think Edgewood out there. And,
is that Edgewood in lane 4? Yeah, it is Edgewood in lane 4. You're right.
And Havre de Grace in second.
Now, again, this doesn't mean anything at all. It's the time. So, in other words, we could have one of these finishers end up being in first, second, or third place based on what happens in this next heat.
Correct. And I'll explain the takeoff for you and where the disqualifications normally happen in the relay here in just a moment.
Here's the backstroke, and again, starting in the water, obviously, as you see.
Yep, their toes have to be beneath the water line.
Larry, to me, one of the most difficult strokes, I would think.
Yep, they go right into a back dive and get underwater and try to get out as far as they can before they break out into the stroke.
It's Elkton in the far lane, lane 6, then Patterson Mill, then Bel Air. C. Milton Wright in the heat lane, or the fastest qualifying lane, in lane 3. Harvard Tech in lane 2, and Falston in lane 1. That's the one closest to you.
Yeah, coming through the backstroke, it looks like it's Elkton, and in lane number 3, we've got C. Milton Wright on the takeoff. So on the blocks, as the swimmers are taking off, when the swimmer in the water touches the wall, some body part, usually the toe, needs to still be on the platform for no disqualification. You can't be in the air while the person still hasn't touched the wall.
Boy, Larry, we talked about it. Be aggressive, but be cautious.
Yeah, it's usually as coaches we tell the people in the water, it is your responsibility to get to the wall. The timing of the swimmer on the platform is one where they have started the process and moving forward, and they can't stop. So you have to finish strong to the wall.
Relays, worth the. How much is a relay? The first place gets what?
This could be 30 points.
Wow. So it's big. This, of course, as you see the butterfly, we talked about it, Larry, that probably the prettiest of all the strokes.
It should be.
But the most difficult, because you're just like a windmill situation with your arms.
Yeah, it should look graceful. The arms actually should be just on the surface of the water. When it's more like a windmill, then it tends to be a little bit slower.
Freestyle now, finishing up. This is the fourth stroke.
Good race here between C. Milton Wright and Bel Air.
C. Milton Wright in the closer lane, lane 3, and Bel Air in lane 4.
And Bel Air's coming, so it could be this is our first. As we said earlier, there's going to be some very close races tonight.
Now, who's going to touch first, Bel Air or C. Milton? It's going to be, I think, Bel Air. I'm not sure. No, C. Milton. We see the C. Milton Wright coach happy.
Yeah, very happy.
Yeah.
So they may have touched out the Bel Air swimmer, and our first movement tonight towards a closer score. Now, as we call the races, these are unofficial results. Yeah. We will actually get the official results, and we'll give you all the swimmers and their names that represent the winning times.
C. Milton Wright's first place team, we think: Kaylee Blair, Hannah Silcox, Deidre McAskey, and Jamie Hansen. That is the 4 swimmers in what we think is the first place finishing team. We'll see what her time was. Remember, they'll combine Heat 1 and Heat 2. And the times will be the fastest will be the first, and the second and third, and so forth down the line. Larry, how far down do you get points?
Oh, you get them depending on the number of teams in the event. With adding the Elkton swimmers, we're going to have to check that out tonight, because now you have more teams and more entries. So you typically score down to 50 or 60% of the participants in the meet. So as soon as we get the first set of results, I'll be able to tell you for sure.
There we go. We're now to the second heat. This is the girls 200-yard freestyle. We're going to see. No,
yeah, I think we're going to try to take a break here, Don, and come back for the last couple heats.
Okay. Yeah.
Of the event.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, we don't have time to be able to do all the events, so we're going to be seeing in this one what the final 3 heats. So we're going to go down now. We'll be right back. We're back with you at Magnolia Middle School. We're in the midst of the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay, 4 times each way, up and back. We're coming up on Heat 5 and Heat 6. They've had a total of 6 heats. This is the faster 2 heats, obviously, faster qualifying times. You'll have Hannah Youngblood. She's in lane 1 from C. Milton Wright. Marty Hernandez, or Mary Hernandez, I should say, from Falston, lane 2. Riley Graham is in lane 3, the faster of the seeds in this particular case. Emily Falcon is in lane 4 from Bel Air. C. Milton Wright's Noel Brown, and then Riley O'Hare in lane 6, the far lane. Again, they go 4 times each way, 4 times up, 4 times back. The fastest qualifying time we'll see in the next heat, Emily Impieria. Did I say her name correctly? Impieri. She's at 2:01.72 from C. Milton Wright, actually from North Hartford. Again, just to give you a perspective, 1:55.08 is the top time ever here in the Harford County meet. Megan Cowan back in 2013.
Yeah, Megan's at Towson University now, one of the best swimmers in that conference. And Megan, my daughter Carrie coached at Towson University last year, and Megan was one of her strongest swimmers.
So Megan should be about a senior now, huh?
Yeah, in fact, this is her senior year.
Wow.
Yep. It's amazing how fast time flies.
Time does fly, you know.
Yeah, the lead in this event right now being held by, well, it's very close between C. Milton Wright in lane 1 and up in lane 4. We have Noelle Brown. I'm sorry, Emily
Fatkin, is it?
Yep.
Fatkin?
Yep.
Fatkin.
From Bel Air.
And again, they seed these swimmers by their times, their qualifying times. And so the faster swimmers are in the middle, and they go out. I guess the slowest swimmer would be in lane 6.
Usually from their qualifying time, yes.
And again, we remind you that it really doesn't matter who wins this particular heat. The time is what you're looking for, because when we come to the fastest heat, that's heat 6. Again, those 6 swimmers, their times will be meshed in with the swimmers from all the other heats. It's conceivable that somebody in heat 1 could end up placing.
They could, absolutely. And not usual, because this is the culmination of all the times that have come up through all the dual meets in the season. And typically you don't find someone from the slower heats advance that far, but you never know, Don.
Look like lane 1 there ends up touching first here. That's Hannah Youngblood. Hannah from C. Milton Wright. So her time, we don't know what it is right now, but she certainly appears to be the top finisher in heat 5. Heat 6 coming up here in just a moment. Mackenzie Milstead from Patterson Mills, she'll be in lane 1. Elizabeth Pennington from Elkton, again one of the Cecil County swimmers, in lane 2. Emily Impieri from North Hartford in lane 3. Lane 4, Kaylee Blair. Lane 5, Sydney James, Kaylee I should say, from C. Milton. Havre de Grace is Sydney James, and then Mackenzie Skelton from Bel Air in lane 6. Interesting, all these swimmers, only one senior among the top qualifiers, Sydney James from Havre de Grace. The juniors, sophomores, and what looks like 3 sophomores and 2 juniors and a senior.
Yeah, Sydney and Mackenzie in this race, both young women that I coached when they were just 6-year-olds.
Just tykes.
Yes. So it's
just mere tadpoles.
Yeah. But now they've grown up, and especially with Sydney being a senior, we'll see what she does in this race.
Hey, this is this is almost like a 400-yard run in track. It's a sprint, but my goodness, 200 yards or 200 yards, is a long way.
Yeah, the swimmers think of this race as a middle distance swim. Actually, those that are been in swimming for a while consider it a sprint. You'll see these folks get out and get the momentum going, get their heart rates going, and their stroke rates up, and make a real good run of this race as a sprint.
Emily Impieri is in lane 3. That's the C. Milton Wright swimmer. Again, the top qualifier at 2:01.72.
Yeah, she's getting pushed by Pennington of Elkton.
Yeah, in lane 2.
So it's actually Pennington's got a little short lead at this point.
We're so happy to see Cecil County teams now getting involved. Bow Manor and Elkton. Winterstand Perryville also has one swimmer this year who didn't qualify for this particular championship.
So we just crossed the 100-yard mark, and a little bit of distance. You'll see that Pennington's got a little bit of a lead, not by much.
Pennington of Elkton, she touches first. Now it's Pennington and Impieri.
And after the next turn, we'll have 50 left. See who's got the speed left in them for the last 50.
Yeah, this is when that acid begins to get in those muscles. Well, I'm really impressed with Pennington, how she's doing in lane 2 there.
Yeah, not the fastest seed time.
Yeah, 2:04.61, 3 seconds behind the Impieri. But
and
stroke for stroke.
We're going to have
the gun lap,
photo finish. Yep. And,
it looks like that Pennington has just a little bit from this angle. Oh, it is close. Pennington in lane 2, Impieri in lane 3. Pennington, and Pennington's going to touch first.
Our unofficial winner.
Elizabeth Pennington at 2:04.61, her qualifying time, just barely defeats, edges out Emily Impieri. And again, I remind you, it sounds like a broken record. It's unofficial. Didn't look like anybody DQ'd, but so it looks like everybody's going to have their time recorded. So we'll come back with some official results in just a moment, getting ready to do the girls 200-yard IM individual medley, where a girl will swim all 4 of the strokes we'll talk about in just a moment. So we'll be back with more action from Magnolia Middle School. It is the UCBAC Swim Championship for 2020. We'll be back. Well, we're back with you at Magnolia Middle School. We are in the 3rd event of the evening. It is the 200-yard IM individual medley. It's the butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. All one swimmer doing, Larry, all 4 strokes. To me, it is the most maybe exciting or the most challenging of the events, because you got to be good at all 4, and it's hard to be good at 4 different strokes.
Yeah, now in the era of specialization, not only are people predominantly in one sport, but even within a sport, there's focus on one particular stroke.
Yeah. We were talking about the most difficult, and of course, it depends on the person, but to me, it looks like the breaststroke would be the most difficult to actually do well.
Yeah, breaststroke is an unusual stroke in that it's frog-like with its kick, and we'll get to see it in a moment. And then its pulls are short and close to the body, and a butterfly for a lot of people is difficult because you have the intense hip action that causes the kick, almost like you think of the dolphin kick, followed by what should be an effortless looking stroke.
Here comes the backstroke now. Of course, that was the butterfly first. We'll give you the swimmers in lane 1. It's Rachel Bowser, lane 1, of course, the lane closest to you from C. Milton Wright. She's a sophomore. Olivia White, a senior at Edgewood. She's in lane 2. Lane 3, Jessica Bell from Hartford Tech, a sophomore. Bel Air's Rachel Trin, a sophomore. She's in lane 4. Lane 5 is Sienna Palala, freshman from C. Milton Wright. And another freshman from Falston, Georgia Watson, is in lane 6. This is the 3rd of 5 heats, so these 6 swimmers are among the top, sort of the middle qualifiers. We have 6 different heats in this particular event, 5 heats. We're seeing 3, 4, and 5.
And now we've moved into the breaststroke. And as you see,
painful to me looking at it. It looks so unnatural.
Well, the legs actually go up, out, and around, and they snap in order to create a glide. They want their hands out in front of them when they're making that kick, so they get as much distance per stroke. They have to touch the walls with 2 hands, so it's not an unusual process for kids to develop. And
that's Jessica Bell, by the way. She's in first place in this particular heat. She is the sophomore from Hartford Tech, the fastest qualifier among this particular group. She touches first, and now we go to the freestyle, and this is the last of the 4 IM events for each swimmer.
Yeah, this is freestyle is any stroke really you could swim.
Oh.
But this crawl stroke is typically the fastest the kids are going to be in the water. So they want to come off the wall just like she did in a nice streamlined position, much like a pencil, or look like a torpedo coming through the water, actually.
I like it. I like your analogies. Yeah. Larry, you may have a chance to sneak in the results that we have so far.
Yeah, we'll watch the finish here. It looks like you called it from a while back.
C. Milton Wright's Jessica Bell, that's heat 3 of 5, the top finisher in that particular heat.
I do have the official results from the 200 medley relay, our first event of the day. That was won by C. Milton Wright by 1/10 of a second.
That's a fingernail.
It is 157. They say a clap takes 4/10 of a second to do. So if you clapped your hands, that's 4/10 of a second.
Whoa.
So you know that 1/10 of a second is very close.
That is a fast clap.
Right, and that's why every race has to be one where you reach to the wall to out-touch your opponent. That was Kaylee Blair, Hannah Silcox, Deirdre McClaskey, and Jamie Hansen were the winning team for C. Milton Wright, followed by Bel Air. Bel Air was 157.88, and followed by Falston, Patterson Mill, and Elkton as your top 5.
We're now in heat 4 of the 5 heats in this 200-yard individual medley. Sadie Mera in lane 1. She's from Elkton, a junior. Bel Air sophomore Lydia Loftus is in lane 2. Lacey Pierce in lane 3, freshman from Hartford Tech. Junior from Elkton is Susanna Kress in lane 4. Lane 5, Alexis Sakers from Bohemian Manor. Freshman from C. Milton Wright is Gabby Alvarez in lane 6.
We shared earlier that we now have the results of the 200-yard freestyle. We thought that Elizabeth Pennington from Elkton, our first Cecil County swimmer to win an event, from Elkton, a sophomore. She went 159.83. She broke her previous Cecil County record of 204.61. Wow. So she did that this year, tonight going 159.83. Didn't beat Megan Cowan's Hartford County record at 155.08. Followed by Emily Impieri from North Hartford, Kaylee Blair. C. Milton Wright finished 3rd, Mackenzie Milstead 5th. Sydney James from Havre de Grace is 5th. Mackenzie Skelton from Bel Air was 6th. Hannah Youngblood 7th, and Emily Fatkin from Bel Air was 8th.
Boy, congratulations to Elizabeth Pennington from Elkton. The swimmers from Cecil County now just getting involved in UCBAC, so wishing them all the best as they probably the 5 schools in Cecil County, Perryville, Elkton, and
Bow Manor.
Bow Manor, thank you. The 3 schools involved. That leaves the 2 schools I'm leaving out, Northeast.
And, well, we have Perryville.
I'm leaving one of the schools out. I'll think of it in a moment. I live in Cecil County. I should know this.
Oh, okay. Well, we're coming down the stretch here. We've got lane number 2.
Yeah, and this is lane 2. That is Lydia Loftus. Again, the heat 4 of 5.
Lane 3 is going to touch her out, it looks like. Yeah,
that's Lacey Pierce, freshman from Hartford Tech. Remember, this is heat 4 of 5. We tell you each time, and it's probably getting boring here, that it doesn't matter where you finish in the particular heat. The time is what matters. Heat 5 now is the top qualifying heat, so logically you would think that the top 5 finishers would be out of that, or top 6 finishers out of heat 5, but it doesn't always end up that way.
Right, and we're going to continue on here. We're not going to take a break this time because we have the 50 free. And Don, if you thought races were a blur, do we still have?
We still have one.
We have one more heat of them.
Yeah, Deidre McAlliskey is in lane 1. She is a C. Milton Wright junior. Lane 2, the freshman from Falston, Abby Snyder. Patterson Mills senior Katrina Lomas is in lane 3. Lane 4, Anna Ginagi. Anna, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Freshman from Falston. North Hartford's junior Erin O'Leary. And in lane 6, it's Abigail Melick, sophomore from Aberdeen. This again, the fastest of the heats. The top qualifier, Katrina Lomas, qualifying at 2:19.68. And she is by far the top qualifier. The closest to her is lane 2, Abby Snyder at 2:24. So qualifying times, she is ahead by 5 seconds.
Yeah, and the record held in Hartford County by, do you remember Patty Rawlick?
Oh, I do, yeah.
C. Milton Wright back in the day. Very strong swimmer. Her record from 2003 is 2:09.31.
Backstroke, the second of the 4 strokes, to be followed by the breaststroke and then the freestyle. Again, this is heat 5 of 5 heats. This the 200-yard individual medley. McAlliskey, Schneider, Lomas, Ginegi, O'Leary, and Melick in lanes 1 through 6.
And Katrina's really starting to pull away from the field, and it's got about that 5-second lead already.
Senior for Patterson Mill. Remember, Patterson Mill won the boys event last night by, some 60 points, or Yeah, just about 60-some points. So if their girls can do anything in terms of, not necessarily to win, but if they can continue to maintain that, that lead they've established, the boys have, we could have Patterson Mill its first ever Harford County UCBAC championship in swimming.
Yeah, and she's doing her part right now because she's certainly going to pick up those big points for first place.
Freestyle now. This is the up and back, and will be done the event, the 200-yard IM.
Looks very strong. A great view coming in right at us. The reach out in front and the catch of the water. And now you'll see the nice strong kick going back. She's in great shape and look like she's going to run away with this 200 IM.
To 1968, her qualifying time. And one thing you want to do always is beat your best, as Pennington did from Elkton.
A very nice swim.
It is, and she does finish as we thought she would based on her pre-meet qualifying. She being Katrina Lomas from Patterson Mills Senior.
And Abby Schneider looks like she got second there.
Abby Schneider, the second lane from Falston, also the second qualifier.
So we'll have the official results in just a few moments and to verify that, but very good swim. And now, what I said previously, I think we're sticking around here for the 50 free because this will be a blur.
We have 8 heats, but they, again, as you said, will go just as fast as you can talk about it. Lane 1, or I should say heat 1, will have just 3 swimmers, and then lane 2, a full 6 complement. So we have 6 swimmers in lanes 2 through, I should say, heats 2 through 8. This particular heat coming up, 50-yard girls freestyle, the record held by Katie Novotny, established back in 1994, 24:52, and I think that might be the oldest, longest standing record we have here in Harford County.
I believe, yeah, if I was looking a little bit earlier, we did have one, Elizabeth Harris. Remember Elizabeth Harris back in 1991?
Wow.
Has in the 500 free. Has the longest standing record, so we'll be coming up on that, but this is the second longest.
That predates, we didn't start doing Harford Cable Network events until 1994.
Wow.
So that even predates us. Whoa. There you see the Magnolia. It's a beautiful setting. It's the only pool in the county where they actually have stands and you can, enjoy viewing it.
Yeah, this
they
really
have just
is.
2 swimmers here. They had 3 who qualified. This is the heat 1, again, of the 50, only 1 up and 1 back. Jean Pierre from Kale.
I think that may be our swimmer that's
that didn't appear
didn't make it tonight. Yeah.
Tressa Brenneman is the freshman from Edgewood. That's the red cap young lady. And Safela Gomes, sophomore from Aberdeen, is the other swimmer, the one farther from you.
Talking about the pool, this is really a gem, Don. The Harford County having this particular pool, I'd love to have this pool with John Carroll, but I don't. It's a wonderful venue for watching a race and a nice 6-lane pool for racing.
Yeah, these pools built back in the 70s. Al Seski, the late great Al Seski, very much responsible for swimming starting here in Harford County. 3 pools in the county: North Harford Middle School, Edgewood Middle School, and here in Magnolia. Magnolia's where, again, we'll have in a week and a half, actually about, 2 weeks, a week and a half, we'll have the regionals here at Magnolia. This is the second of the 8 heats. Riley Boyer, she's from Elkton, a freshman in lane 1. All freshmen here except for one we'll mention in a moment, actually 2. Allison Radovich from Havre de Grace, lane 2. Sophia DiCarlo, freshman from Falston, lane 3. Also a freshman from Joppatown, Mary Ellen Van Horn, and Nadia Hercheron from Harford Tech, from Harford Tech, a junior. And then lane 6 is Anna Maria Alman, a junior from Harford Tech. Again, we remind you the top record, Katie Novotny, 24:52. Give you some reference. Teresa Brenneman, 45:22, the qualifier there in lane, I should say, in heat 8.
Looked like the heat winner for this particular heat was Mary Ellen Van Horn up in lane number 4 from Joppatown, followed by Sophia DiCarlo.
Freshman. Looking down to our fastest time in the heat 8, just to look ahead a moment, 26:38. That's Broxa Benish. We'll talk about her in just a moment, but right now it is heat 3. Leslie Aylman, lane 1, freshman from Aberdeen. Bohemian Manor's Mariah Pinta, lane 2. Junior from Patterson Mill is Taylor Marson. She's from Patterson Mill, a junior. Junior from Harvard Tech is Summer Peters in lane 4. Akira Nash is in lane 5, junior from Joppatown. And a freshman from Havre de Grace, Raylan Hitchings in the far lane, lane 6.
In the middle of the pool in lane number 3, it looks like Taylor Marson is going to be our winner.
I didn't get to announce their names and they're done.
That's how quick it goes.
Yeah.
And actually, a little unique historical thing about the pool. This pool is host to a national record.
Really?
And, that's a good trivia question.
Ah.
Who from Harford County would have had a national record?
I'm going to say Jim Bourne.
Well, no.
Ah. Wrong swimming breath.
No, actually, Jessica Long.
Come on.
The Paralympian actually set a national record in the Magnolia pool. I know that because I was here for the meet, and then afterwards we had to measure the pool to make sure it was a qualifying pool for the national record. Yeah.
Heat 4 here is Autumn Fulton in lane 1, Lauren Thomas in lane 2, Kyla Kaiser in lane 3, Jenna Reed in lane 4, Dakota Bake in lane 5, and Lillian Powell in lane 6. It's Edgewood, Patterson Mill, Edgewood, North Harford, Havre de Grace, and Bel Air.
You keep doing that. You're doing great.
I got their names
and I get to announce who's going to win the heat. It looks like it's going to be Lauren Thomas, right?
Yeah, in lane 2.
Lane number 2 from Patterson Mill.
Again, that is heat 4 of 8 heats. They've got 4 more to go, obviously, and they get faster as we go, at least in qualifying times.
And you're going to have to get faster with your deliveries,
yes,
because
I'm going to start ahead. Riley Anderson, lane 1 from junior from Edgewood from North Harford. It's Anna Bogner in lane 3. It's Madison Pinta. She's from Bohemian Manor. Patterson Mills, Caitlin Welker in lane 4. Elkton's Alina Torres Rivera in lane 5. She's a junior. And a freshman from Patterson Mill, Sydney Harrison.
There you
one
go.
up and one down.
You get to breathe now.
I do, yeah.
And we get to watch the rest of the race as they come into the turn and back in the last 25.
Boy, Larry, you said it. That's a great shot our Harford Cable Network guys give us as they come to that turn.
Yeah, and it's a fabulous here. Right at the finish, we get to see the touch right at the wall, and it's really close this time.
Yeah, there's 4 right. I don't
Yep,
know.
I got lane 3, it looks like to me. Yeah, I think lane 3 may have reached to the wall first, and that would have been Madison Pinta.
And the timing, of course, is what it matters. Now we'll go to heat 6 of 8. It'll be C. Milton Wright's freshman Sophia Lyons in lane 1. Laurie Goka from Bel Air, she's a senior. Aberdeen freshman is Gianna Citron. Senior from Falston is Zoe Van Skyver, and I should mention that Zoe Van Skyver is our PA announcer here tonight from Falston, also swimming as well. Elkton Jr. is Abigail Mahoney, and from Havre de Grace sophomore is Haley Sullivan. And here they come in lane, I should say in heat 6. It looks like lane 1, just from my viewpoint, may have about a half a stroke lead. It's going to be close again.
Yep. To the wall, the reach.
Gosh, I think it may be lane 6.
Yeah, either 6 or 1.
Haley Sullivan is lane 6, Sophia Lyons in lane 1. And again, I'll repeat, if you'll get tired of hearing this, it's all about the timing, not who won the heat, but what their time was. That's 6 of the 8. Now we go to heat number 7. This is from lane 1, sophomore Harford Tech is J.C. Carl. In lane 2 from North Harford, sophomore is Grace Feldbush. Lane 3 from Elkton is Sierra Hopkins, a junior. Sophomore from C. Milton is Alyssa Stamper. And then in lane 5, it's from C. Milton, a senior, Julia Doonan. And from Falston, senior, it's Maddie Jester in lane 6. This heat number 7 of 8 heats, the second fastest qualifying group.
And just as we announced earlier, we had a correction to the results of the very first event. The switch between positions 3 and 4 between Patterson Mill and Falston. Patterson Mill finishing 3rd, Falston finishing 4th.
Yeah, we saw a swimmer come out here very upset saying, that's not right. It looks like lane 4 is going to touch first. That's Alyssa Stamper.
Just ahead of lane 2 there, Don.
Yeah, lane 2 is Grace Feldbush, sophomore from North Harford. Now we come to the fastest of the fast. This is heat 8 of 8 heats. Kylie Weaver in lane 1, sophomore from Bel Air. Anna Miller from Bohemian Manor. They don't list the grade level in the Cecil County team, so we'll just say she's from Cecil County. Fastest qualifier, Broxa Benish, the junior from Bel Air. Lauren Secco, from senior from North Hartford, is in lane 4. Jamie Hansen in lane 5, a sophomore. And Bella Buffard, a junior from Falston, in lane 6.
Yeah, this will be a really exciting race. Don't count out lane number 4, Lauren Secco. She is a she's a gamer. I tell you,
close.
Yep. We got 2, 3, and 4 all together.
I'm thinking 3 has a little bit.
3 has a little bit of a reach, and it's going to be.
I think 3 touches first, and that is Broxa Benish. Broxa with a 26:38. That is her qualifying time. We don't know what her time is here, obviously.
Yep,
We're assuming that this is the fastest heat.
Yep, I saw the sweep as 3:42, but we'll have to see the official results when they make their way out. But no matter what, a very exciting race again.
It was that. We'll come back with some more results for you, and the 100-yard butterfly coming up in a couple of moments. Hang with us. We're back with you at Magnolia Middle School again. It is the UCBAC Swim Championships for 2020. We have some results for you. We're right in the middle of the girls 100-yard butterfly. We'll be doing heats 3, 4, and 5. Larry, I think you have some results.
Sure. Let's go over the girls 200-yard individual medley. The winner, Katarina Loomis, with a finishing time of 2:15.85. Finished second was Abby Schneider from Falston with 2:20.84, followed by, looks like Anna Nagy, then Erin O'Leary from North Hartford, and then Lacey Pierce finished 5th from Hartford Tech, and Abigail Mellick from Aberdeen was in 6th. So your top 6 finishers for the 200-yard individual medley. And in the water now, Don?
Yep, it's heat 3 of 5. This is the 100-yard butterfly. In lane 1, it's Nina Mamadova, junior from Patterson Mill. Harvard Tech sophomore J.C. Carl is in lane 2. Jenna Tangiers is in lane 3, senior from Patterson Mill. Bel Air freshman Megan Lenz is in lane 4. North Hartford junior Shelby Gore in lane 5. And Havre de Grace senior Casey Craig is in lane 6. Again, this is 100 yards, 2 up and 2 back.
We also have the results of the official results of the 50-yard freestyle.
Actually, 4 up and 4 back.
For this?
For this.
Yep.
2 up and 2 back.
Yep. Total of 100. 25 per 25 yards
25,
each.
25. Got it.
That's 100.
That's 100. Thank you.
Yeah, that's, math was your major, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really good at math.
Good. We're going into the final turn here. And off the wall, you see them use a dolphin kick. A real close race here in lanes 3, 4, and 5. Looks like the late swimmer in lane 4 starting to extend the lead a little bit.
Megan Lenz in lane 4. Megan from Bel Air, a freshman. And it looks like Megan will end up winning this heat or having the best time in this particular heat. So we were talking, you have any other results there, Larry?
Yeah, it was the 50 freestyle results. Broxa Benish from Bel Air, the winner of the 50 free with a 26:40, followed by Anna Miller from Bow Manor with a time of 26:67. Lauren Secco from North Hartford, 26:69. Jamie Hansen, 27:14 from C. Milton Wright. Kylie Weaver, 27:19 from Bel Air. And Grace Fellbush from North Hartford, 28:44. Your top 6 finishers in the 50 freestyle.
And we're now heat 4 of 5 heats. This is the 100-yard butterfly. Lane 1, Caroline Kirby. She's a sophomore from C. Milton. Another sophomore from C. Milton, Rachel Bowser, is in lane 2. Victoria Kalinowski, sophomore from Harvard Tech, lane 3. Kaylee Hitchings is a senior at Havre de Grace, lane 4. Lane 5, Stephanie Matson, junior from Elkton. And Sarah Jones, a junior from Falston, in lane 6. By the way, Katrina Lomas has the top record here, Hartford County record and UCBAC record of 58:54, established just last year, 2019.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Now, she is not in this particular event. I'm looking. She's swimming some of the other events, is Katrina Lomas. Again, heat 4 of 5 heats. Right in the center of the pool. Looks like lane 3, and that is Victoria Kalinowski, sophomore from Hartford Tech. 1:12.10, her qualifying time. Very close now is lane 4 coming up. It looks like lane 4 from, that's from Kaylee Hitchings, a senior from Havre de Grace, who looks like that she touched first. Yep, and that's exactly what it was. We now move on to lane, to heat 5. Again, the 100-yard butterfly, 2 times up and 2 times back.
Don doing some quick math here to figure out where we stand in the evening. You came in with a differential between first and second of over almost 70 points, if I remember right, 60-some points.
Hang on one second. Let me give you the heat 5 here. Emily Fatkin, lane 1. Hannah Silcox, lane 2. Lane 3 is Olivia Van Dyke from Bel Air, sophomore. Pri Velez, lane 4 from Edgewood, a senior. And Sarah Lingenbach, senior from Patterson Mill, is in lane 5. Lane 6 is Bella Buford, junior from Falston, the top qualifying and the fastest of the heats here in the 100-yard butterfly.
Yeah, and right here at the halfway mark in lane number 3, we have Olivia Van Dyke with the lead from Bel Air. And coming right now in second place is Pri Velez from Edgewood.
From Edgewood, yeah, and just we can't tell you how important this is. And my partner Larry was alluding to the fact that the lead that Patterson Mill had coming in is shrinking with each event. So we'll give you more as we get a moment. Looks like lane 3 is Olivia Van Dyke, and she will touch first in this particular heat. Lane 4, Pri Velez, will touch second, and in lane 2, that's Hannah Silcox touching third. Again, remind you one more time, it is the time in terms of all the heats. They put them all together, and you'll have the first through the 8th place finishers.
And exactly what you said, Don, the spread is shrinking.
Shrinking, and we'll come back and tell you more about that spread. We'll come back and we'll do the 100-yard freestyle. That'll be coming up in just a moment. We're back with you here at Magnolia Middle School. It's the 100-yard freestyle. We're doing heats 4 through 7. Larry, let's squeeze in here where we are. It's getting exciting in terms of how the lead is shrinking for Patterson Mill.
Yeah, I have the official results in butterfly, and quickly where the team scores are at the moment. In the 100-yard butterfly, Olivia Van Dyke did win that event from Bel Air High School with a 1:00.69, followed by Pri Velez from Edgewood, 1:03.73. Hannah Silcox from C. Milton Wright was third. Fourth was Sarah Lingelbach. Fifth was Emily Fatkin. Bella Bulford was sixth. Kaylee Hitchings was seventh. And Victoria Kalinowski was eighth. In the team scores, Don, we are really narrowing the spread between the teams. I have it at the moment. Patterson Mill still holding on to the lead with 457.5 points. That is 38 points over. I'm sorry, 22 points over C. Milton Wright, and 38 points over Bel Air. So we are closing the gap quickly.
Heat 4 of 7. That's Kayla Seeley, junior from Hartford Tech. Looks like that she is living up to her pre-race in this particular heat. She finishes first. Looks like touching second may have been Alina Torres Rivera, junior from Elkton, in lane 4. And lane 2, Sydney Harrison, freshman from Patterson Mill. Other swimmers, May Akamoto, she's a freshman at Patterson Mill in lane 1. Lane 6 was Mackenzie Arson from a sophomore from Edgewood. And from Falston, sophomore Gwyneth Rudy, she was in lane 5. Again, that's heat 4 of 7 heats here in the girls 100-yard freestyle. We'll go to heat 5 in the lanes. Anna Bogner, junior from North Harvard, is in lane 1. Michaela Stem in lane 2, junior from Falston. Patterson Mill freshman Caitlin Welker in lane 3. Kate Sullivan, lane 4, sophomore Havre de Grace. Riley Anderson, lane 5, junior Edgewood. And lane 6, Alexa Bunk, and she's a sophomore from Elkton. Again, this is heat 5 of 7 heats. Larry, anything more to add?
No, this is truly a sprint. That gap that we talked about looks like if things hold out here, this could be opportunity for C. Milton Wright maybe to get very, very close here. And potentially we might have our first lead change of the evening in the next event or two.
And in 25 years, we've never had a winner, in this case it would be C. Milton if they do win, who didn't win the boys or the girls event. Again, 25 years have passed in doing these things, and always the overall winner has won either the boys or the girls. C. Milton could finish second in both and end up first overall.
Right, because tonight's leaders right now on the women's side are Bel Air with 142. C. Milton Wright is in second with 130, and Falston at 115.
Of course, Bel Air started with that huge disadvantage, again, fueled in some ways by that DQ they had in the event one last night in the boys' race. That's a 30-point deduction because they finished first. They didn't get any points at all, so that's 30 points they lost. Wow. That was Heat 5. We're going now to Heat 6, the finals here, the 100-yard freestyle. Braylon Howard is in lane 1. C. Milton Wright, freshman. Lane 2, another freshman, Falston's Lily Pasqualini. And in lane 3, a junior from Elkton, Sadie Mara. Lane 4, it's a freshman from Bel Air, Megan Lenz. Lane 5 is Julia Doonan, senior from C. Milton. North Harvard sophomore Grace Feldbush is in lane 6. Again, we talk about this sprint. It's a little less, quick, if you will, than the 50, obviously, but it is still all out. Nothing like the 200 where, they have to pace themselves a little bit. Here it's, you dump in and you're just all out for 100 yards.
It's all go. So, and it ends very quickly, just like the 50 free. We're coming down to the halfway point. Nice turn up there in lane 5.
Yeah, that's Julia Noonan, who is leading right now, at least in this second to the fastest heat.
Holding off the pressure from lane 3.
That's Megan Lenz. We're checking. No, it's Sadie Mara in lane 3. Boy, this is going to be a close one for this particular heat. Lane 5 is Julia Noonan.
And depending on which way they breathe, they're getting a peek or not seeing their competitor, and it's going to be lane 3, looks like.
I think it is. I think Sadie Mara came from behind and ended up touching first in Heat 6, the second fastest of the heats. Brings us up to Heat 7. Jamie Hansen in lane 1, sophomore from C. Milton. Lauren Succo, she's a senior from North Harvard. In lane 3, it's Kaylee Blair, sophomore C. Milton. Junior Bel Air's Broxa Bench is in lane 4. Lane 5 is Julia Everett, sophomore from Patterson Mill. And Bohemian Manor's Anna Miller is in lane 6. Kaylee Blair, the top qualifier at 56.91.
And Don, if those names sound familiar to you, there are many of the same girls that were in the 50 free.
Yeah.
So typically when you have a sprinter, they can flat out go. And here's our Broxa Benish, I believe, was the winner of the 50 free.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And you explained that you can do 2 events and a relay. So, if you get 2 sprints, you could still participate as a relay sprinter as well.
Yeah, you actually you're allowed 2 individual events and 2 relays.
Oh, 2 relays.
Yeah, yep. And you could do 1 individual event and 3 relays, but you cannot do 3 individual events.
Looks like Kaylee Blair in lane 3.
It's a C. Milton Wright swimmer, I believe, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's sophomore at 56.91 is her best time. Looks like she's going to win it easily. Kaylee Blair touching first.
Yeah, another big win for C. Milton Wright.
Wow. The Mustangs trying to overcome that huge deficit they had. Patterson Mill winging out at the boys' results last night. C. Milton Wright is closing in on what could be, let's look again. This would be their 12th consecutive overall championship if they can win it.
Yeah, they got some making up to do. We'll see if they can do that. I guess we're climbing up here on the 500 freestyle. We're going to take a break and come back to the couple heats of that.
We surely will. We're going to go to the 500-yard freestyle in just a moment. Stay tuned. Don't go away. It is the 2020 Swim Championships from Magnolia Middle School.
I'm with 2 of our champions from last night in the boys championships here at Magnolia Middle. I'm with Storm Fuller from Edgewood, Noah Harley from Patterson Mill. Let's start with you, Storm. Your event was the 100 back, right?
Yes.
So how did you prep for the event, and how did the meet go for you last night?
I really just tried to stay limber and focus on my competition. I find it better to swim with competition. like Noah Harley right there, and our friend Eugene Dunca. They both were really great for me to try to keep up with, and I think it was definitely thanks to them that I was able to push myself to that limit. And
Yeah, Noah gave you some good competition there. You guys
Really
finished
did.
1-2 there, and
really did.
talk a little bit about. Is this your favorite stroke?
Probably yes.
And what other stroke is in your repertoire?
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Just those
Distance,
two.
or do you like the sprints?
More middle distance.
Gotcha.
Not enough for a 500. And I'm a little long for sprinting, but middle distance and 100s are okay.
Tell us a little bit now, your swimming background. Where do you swim beyond high school?
I swim for the YCM Blue Crabs since I think 2013, and I've swam for Joppatown recreational swim with Hartford Swim League right here at Magnolia Middle School since also 2013.
Wow. So, and this is your, you were in the championships last year.
I was. I didn't place as well, but I did swim here.
And you said you also had a drop last night in time, yes?
Mm-hmm. I did. I dropped a second in both of my individuals, but mainly in the 100 back.
Great. It was a great race last night, and congratulations on your championships for this year.
Thank you.
I'll switch over to Noah. Noah, how are you?
Good.
Good. Great meet last night. You also you won the 200 IM.
Yep.
How was that race for you?
I mean, I'm getting over a cold, and so there was a lot of anxiety leading up to it. But I think we had trained a lot in the past couple weeks, and I got in the zone before I got up there and swimming. And when it was finished, and we did pretty good.
Excellent. You also had some victories in relays last night, correct?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about those relays.
The relays are really just it's the team, the whole team as a whole, I guess. I was working on improving my time as well, but it's really just the teamwork through that and hyping everybody up, so we all do our best.
Which two relays were you participating in?
The 200 medley relay in the beginning and the 400 free relay in the end.
Well, great meet, Noah. Congratulations to both of you. We're here at the championships for the girls tonight and supporting them, and great meet last night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to Magnolia Middle School again, the Harford County Championship Swimming. Actually, it's the UCBAC Championship, including swimmers from Elkton and Bohemia Manor as well. You're breaking in here in the third heat of 4 heats. This is the 500-yard freestyle. And Larry, if we talked about that, clap your hands one time and that's the end of it. This is sort of the hare and the tortoise. This is the slow but continuous. You have to develop 500 yards. That's a long way to swim.
Yeah, it's a certain race strategy that goes into this. Typically, the swimmers will go out fast to kind of get things rolling, get things moving, and then fall into a equal pace. I like to tell my swimmers that we try to go out around a minute, and then we try to settle in at somewhere depending on what their pace is, and then finish very strong and try to make a nice strong move in the end.
You can see that the lane markers, some are on their 11th lap, some on their 13th lap. So, again, there is a disparity between the top finishers and those that come in, second or third or fifth. The record here for the UCBAC is held by Harris. I don't have a first name for.
I think it's Elizabeth Harris.
Elizabeth Harris,
Yeah.
back to 1991. Wow. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm showing my age. If I've gotten that right, then I think
That's like
I'm getting too old.
29 years ago.
Yeah,
My
that was
goodness.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a 508.13. Now, this particular heat we're looking at, the top qualifier is the lady in lane 3, Abigail Mellick. She is at 5:57.33, her qualifying time. The lanes here is Sienna Palala, freshman from C. Milton at 6:30.25. She's in lane 1. Hannah Youngblood is in lane 2 from C. Milton, right, a freshman. We mentioned Abigail Mellick in lane 3. Susanna Kress is in lane 4, junior from Elkton. Senior from Falston, Mary Hernandez is in lane 5, and in lane 6 is Gianna Citrone, a freshman from Aberdeen. Again, this is the third of 4 heats in the 500-yard girls freestyle.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of coaching Abby since she was on our summer league team, and Abby was always a fierce competitor, and she's showing tonight. She's really going out and right now tearing up this heat of the 500 free.
Larry, if I'm correct, this is the 7th event of our 11 events.
It is.
We'll have a break after this. There is the second break coming right after the 500. And then we have the 4 finishing events. And again, we talked about it. You mentioned how narrow the lead is becoming for Patterson Mill. Bel Air had a tremendous amount of space to make up. C. Milton Wright the same way. But they have really done what they needed to do here to tighten this match and give C. Milton Wright a chance to win their 11th consecutive county title, even though they may not win either the boys or the girls event.
Yeah, right. What I have right now, and we just got the bell lap, so our first finisher's coming in. That's Abby Mellick. So great swim by Abby tonight. I believe that was her, right?
Yeah, 5:57.33 her qualifying time. We don't know what her time is right now. So again, finishing up here in heat 3 of 4 heats.
In the 100 freestyle, our finishers, we got during our last break, we got the updates on scoring. Kaylee Blair was your champion from C. Milton Wright, 55.41. Bruxa Benish was second from Bel Air, 57.56. Lauren Sicko from North Hartford, 58.24. Followed by Julia Everett, Anna Miller, and Jamie Hansen. We're going to come up here on the last heat of the 500.
Yeah, this is the fastest of the heats for the 500. We'll give you the swimmers in the lane 3, the top qualifier at 5:32.24. Senior from Patterson Mill is Katrina Lomas. Lane 1, Mackenzie Skelton from Bel Air, sophomore. Lane 2 is Sydney James, senior, Havre de Grace. Lane 4, Emily Impieri, junior from North Hartford. Freshman Hartford Tech is Lacey Pearson, lane 5. And Mackenzie Milstead, a junior from Patterson Mill, is in lane 6.
And while they're in the water getting started with this 500, the team scores, again, if my math is serving me well.
Better you than me.
It's been narrowed to just 4 points.
Come on.
Yeah, Patterson Mill with the lead still, 478.5. C. Milton Wright following at 474. And Bel Air at 443. So only 35 points separates Patterson Mill from Bel Air, but only 4.5 points between them and C. Milton Wright. So we are right there.
We started. Patterson Mill had 369.5 points in winning last night, the boys event. C. Milton Wright at 311. That's like 68.5 points behind C. Milton Wright, behind Patterson Mill. And then Bel Air at 277.5. And you're telling me they're back within 4 points now.
Yeah, the women tonight, Bel Air's in the lead with 166. But C. Milton Wright is only 3 points behind at 163. Patterson Mill, the leader last night, is down in 5th place with 109.
Yeah.
So that's how it gets flip-flopped pretty quickly here.
Well, Patterson Mill, who won the boys championship last night, C. Milton Wright had won 7 in a row coming in to last night's championship meet, and Patterson Mill broke that string. C. Milton Wright, by the way, I had the figure here. They had won 175 straight dual meets coming to this year. Actually, 167 made it up to 175 before they lost 2 dual meets this year.
Yeah, they lost once to Patterson Mill and
once to Bel Air.
Once to Bel Air.
I think Bel Air by 2 and Patterson Mill by 12.
Right. So interesting as the night rolls on. Here in the 500. Another great shot off the walls. The current leader appears to be up in lane number 4.
And Larry, they had those lane markers. Explain to the folks who don't know, what are they doing, the young people with the lane markers? Yeah,
they're at the end of each lane, you're allowed to have one swimmer count for the other swimmer. It's 20 laps, so you can lose track pretty quickly, especially if you're going all out on where you are in the race.
There you see the markers we're talking about.
And they'll put the markers in the water. Sometimes you'll see the swimmers put the marker in the water and shake them up and down. That's a signal from the coaches to pick up the pace. Okay, it's in the water. It's difficult to hear, although you can hear. So when I was yelling or whistling, my swimmers told me they could hear me.
Yeah.
Hand signals are easier to show them. You may see some of the coaches giving some hand signals because you get a peek every time you breathe. But the best place to see things, there you go. The card got dropped in, the counter got dropped in, it went up and down. They're looking for the swimmer to pick up the pace. And as you can see, they're neck and neck there in lane 4 and 5.
Now, Larry, when they have the numbers now, how many laps are we talking about?
Right now, the total of 20, and right now they're over the halfway mark.
Yeah, so it's counting up, not down. So in other words, 11
the
means
odds.
you've done 11 laps?
Correct.
Okay. So it lets you know what lap you're on, knowing that you have to do 20 laps.
Right, the last marker will come up all red, showing that this is the last lap. They also get a signal from the referee. The referee comes over to the leader and will ring a bell. And so thus called the bell lap. So they get that signal. The problem is everybody hears the bell. It's not like it's any extra advantage. It's just a notification that the leader is on the last the 2 segments of the race.
Well, Larry, we had something happen last night I'd never heard of happening before, and that is somebody dropped a cell phone into the pool during a race, and unfortunately the poor young man who was swimming for that team, of the person who dropped the cell phone in, got disqualified.
Well, they jumped in. Yeah, they jumped in, so you can never have more than one swimmer in the lane at a time.
He drops his cell phone and he jumps in to get his cell phone.
Right, and the person in the water gets disqualified. The one that's swimming.
That is unique. I don't think I've heard of a cell phone dropped in the pool and the guy jumped in after it and got his teammate disqualified.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things, but you would figure that eventually in the era of technology, it was going to be the cell phone that goes in. And now the cell phones are actually waterproof. Yeah. So if it was a late model version of it, they jumped in for no reason at all and caused their swimmer. There's the bell, as we talked about. Lane number 3 is getting the bell.
Yeah, that's Katrina Lomas. Again, the odds-on favorite, 5:32.24 her qualifying time, ahead of 5:36.91 Emily Impieri in lane 4.
And there are your 2 leaders as we come down to the last 50 yards, and
that's Lomas turning and heading home. Looks like that she will have the top qualifying time here. Will win this last heat, we should say. In lane 4 is Emily Impieri. It looks like lane 3, yeah, that's Katrina Lomas. And she will touch first, and in lane 4, Emily Impieri, junior from North Hartford, finishing second. Lomas, a senior from Patterson Mill. Looks like lane 3, lane 2, Sydney James coming in third. Up in lane 6, that's Mackenzie Milstead. Lane 5, Lacey Pierce. So unofficially, if this is the fastest heat, and these times are the fastest, it looks like that Lomas from Patterson Mill will win, and that will certainly help Patterson Mill maintain that very narrow lead they have.
Right, they had two swimmers in the finals. Mackenzie Milstead, who snuck up to I think third place, and so she'll add points. Both Patterson Mill swimmers, helping the cause there. Also in that race, keep your eye on the future of the freshman. That was Lacey Pierce.
Yeah.
Lacey's going to be a really strong swimmer in the future.
From Hartford Tech.
Yep.
Yeah, our next event is going to be the 200-yard freestyle relay, and we're going to do both heats there.
Right, but we're going to take a break because there's going to be a break on the deck. They always give a break after the 500 free because some of these swimmers will actually be in the relays. So wow. Give them a little chance to recover and cool down a bit, and then we'll come back. And
we will take a break as well, so we stay tuned. We're going to have the final 4 events here that will determine the county championship and the UCBAC championship. Don't go away. It's the county championships and the UCBAC championships of swimming from Magnolia Middle School. We're back with you. It is the girls 200-yard freestyle relay. We're seeing both heats here, heat 1 and heat 2. First of all, the swimmers, we have Bohemian Manors in lane 1, Haverty Grace in lane 2, Elkton in lane 3, Aberdeen in lane 4, and Edgewood in lane 5. And Larry, this is again one of those semi-quick events, if you will. And the relays, we talk about how important they are because you get 40 points for winning a relay.
Yeah, this is the critical part of the meet. And as we look at the team scores and we look at the situation that we have tonight, this is really critical. And so we talked earlier about disqualifications and good takeoffs, and right now the teams are looking to put everything together. Every one of these swimmers is swimming a 50 free, so it's a quick sprint.
Yeah.
as you say, up and back,
Uh-huh.
and we're looking for great takeoffs. And those very aggressive, without being too aggressive, takeoffs can make a big difference.
This is the second of the 4 swimmers in this particular relay in each of the teams. They'll touch, and you'll see the third swimmers go into the pool. Again, Larry talked about how it is the responsibility of the swimmer to reach out and touch, because as the person diving in, you can't be judging whether that person's going to touch or not.
Yeah, you can't slow your momentum down on the blocks, but you unfortunately can slow the momentum down coming into the wall, and that can be disaster.
Looks like lane 2, Haverty Grace, right now, and the, again, slower of the 2 heats.
And this is the finish. And it will be Haverty Grace.
Looks like Haverty Grace, yeah. And that's the Cassidy Anderson, Haley Sullivan, Sydney James, and Kaylee Hitchings, I should say, were the 4 swimmers for Haverty Grace who win their heat. And again, one more time, I'll say it doesn't really matter they win or lose. It's the time they record.
And Aberdeen finished second there.
Yeah, amazing. Good to see that. Some of the schools that don't necessarily, score high points a lot, good to see them finishing high.
Yes.
Here's the second and the faster of the 2 heats. It's Falston in lane 1, Patterson Mill in lane 2, Bel Air in lane 3, North Hartford 4, C Milton 5, and Hartford Tech 6. And again, Bel Air is the top ranked team, has the top score coming in terms of time. Bobcats struggling to try to get back into this thing in terms of the overall standings.
Yep, and this is one of those, everyone's pretty hopped up and ready to go with these sprinters. And Bel Air, good takeoffs, good lead produced by their very first swimmer.
That was Olivia Van Dyke, the lead swimmer. Now in the water is Kaylee Weaver.
Olivia already one of our champions tonight.
Yeah. So far we do have a 2-time champion, Katrina Lomas from Patterson Mill has won 2 events already, the 100-yard IM and the 500-yard free. Here's the third swimmer in the pool. That should be Mackenzie Skelton from Bel Air leading the way. Roxa Benish, who's also a winner already, won one and finished second in another, will be the anchor
swimmer, yeah,
for the Bel Air Bobcats.
Usually in these relays you find the first and the last swimmer being your 2 fastest swimmers, the last being your anchor swimmer, your fastest swimmer. Coming into the wall here, we really do have a little bit of catch-up happening up there in lane number 4.
Yeah, it's North Hartford.
Yeah, North Hartford making a run here.
And Emily Impieri, one of our winners already, is swimming for North Hartford in that 4th lane. I think she finished second in one of the events.
She did, and here's the takeoff and the exchange coming up here for the last swimmer, and it's going to be a dead heat.
Yeah.
Whoa, geez.
You call that one. I have no idea. It's North Hartford and Bel Air.
Very, very close.
Again, 40 points, and you're saying 36 for second place?
Actually, it is 34 for second place.
For second, so it's a 6-point difference. And then 4th drops down to, what, 32 points?
32, yep.
So again, we're counting points because not only for the championship of the girls event, but also to try to make up, if you're Bel Air and C Milton Wright, for that huge lead that Patterson Mill had in the boys event coming in.
Yeah, and at 500 free, we saw Patterson Mill with a couple swimmers in that final heat that scored well. That really helped extend that the gap a little bit by my scoring. And again, it's unofficial, but what had narrowed to a 4.5 point spread now has widened back up again to 25.5 points.
So don't you go away. It's going to be exciting as we come down to the final 3 events. It's the girls 100-yard backstroke. We'll have that for you in just a moment. Well, we're rejoining you here with the 100-yard breaststroke, I should say. It's the heat 3 of 6 heats. This is the Caleb Abbey is in lane 1, sophomore from Edgewood. Kayla Seeley is in lane 2, junior from Hartford Tech. It's Alyssa Grafton, lane 3, from senior of North Hartford. Sophomore from C. Milton, lane 4. Olivia Castelli. Nina Armstrong is in lane 5, freshman Aberdeen. And Madeline Colander, I should say, is in lane 6, a freshman from North Hartford. We are in this breaststroke that is, again, one of the most difficult looking strokes that you can ever think of. And it's the second to last event. The only thing we have left here is the 400-yard freestyle relay. And gosh, Larry, it could not be any closer than it is right now.
No, I'll go over the team scores quickly while we finish up a couple of these early heats. Literally, we're down to just a couple points separating. After the backstroke, we have, by my calculations, Patterson Mill at 546.5, C. Milton Wright at 543. 3.5 points separating the two leaders. Bel Air 527.5, 19 points between the leaders, Patterson Mill and Bel Air. On the purely on the women's side tonight, in first place is Bel Air at 250, C. Milton Wright in second at 232, North Hartford at 195, Falston at 187, Patterson Mill at 177. So lots still to be decided in the last two events.
If you look at this event in our heat 6 coming up here in a couple more heats, number 1 seed is Hannah Silcox, freshman from C. Milton Wright. So if you look at what is in the offing, Patterson Mill is seated in the lane 2, which means they're the third favorite. So, you know, it's just really going to come just too close to even think about calling. And if you look at the final event of the night, it is the team of Mackenzie Milstead, Sarah Lingenbach, Julia Everett, and Katrina Lomas from Patterson Mill. They are the top seeds in that last event. That is a 40-point possibility. So if they could win that and do okay in this particular event, maybe Patterson Mill could hold on.
That would be amazing. And but in that last event, you have C. Milton Wright, which is the they're only separated by a couple seconds, and Bel Air right there as well. So the story will unfold.
Crazy, crazy. Heat 4 here is Laurie Gonka, a senior from Bel Air. Sarah Jones, junior from Falston, lane 2. Lane 3 is Carolyn Kirby, sophomore, C. Milton Wright. Alexa Wright, lane 4, senior from Falston. Havre de Grace's junior Cassidy Anderson is in lane 5, and Georgia Watson, a freshman from Falston, in lane 6. Heat 4 of 6 heats here in the girls 100-yard breaststroke.
And I just gotten the backstroke official results. Olivia Van Dyke is our second two-time champion of the evening from Bel Air High School, 104.75. Second place, I'm going to do the same thing you did. Anna Ganegi, I think, or Anna Nagy, one of the two, from Falston High School, 106.37. Pri Velez, 107.56 in third. From Edgewood, Sarah Lingenbach from Patterson Mill, fourth at 108.01.
We're coming up now to Heat 5 of 6. It's Alexa Brim, senior from Edgewood, in lane 1. Braylon Howard in lane 2, C. Milton Wright, freshman. Lane 3 is Aaron O'Leary, junior from North Hartford. Lane 4, Jessica Bell, sophomore, Hartford Tech. Bel Air sophomore Rachel Trin in lane 5, and lane 6 is Kaylee Hitchings, a senior from Havre de Grace.
Early lead by Aaron O'Leary out at North Hartford, up in lane number 3. The O'Leary family, big family from North Hartford, lots of swimmers and a couple more to come. Aaron, really a very smart student athlete. I had the pleasure of coaching her for a number of years as well.
I think you've coached every one of them, at least their sister or their brother. I believe.
Well, when they're younger, you get to see a lot of them. So I'm just glad to see they stick with the sport, and they are able to represent their high schools as they've gotten older. And Erin looks like she's going to win this heat in the 100-yard breaststroke from North Hartford.
And there we go. Now one more heat to go.
Up in second place and up in lane number 5, Rachel Trin from Bel Air. And we'll have the fastest heat coming up. heat number 6.
You know, one thing, Larry, I want to mention Chris Bly, who's the coach here at Joppatown. I say here because Magnolia's in that district. Chris is sort of the do-everything person in terms of this pool. And we had a chance to talk to him before the match and before the meet, I should say. And it's just amazing the people that volunteer and do so much. He just really does.
Yeah, you think of Chris. Chris is, as you said, you know, almost Mr. Swimming in Harford County.
Yeah.
Chris does a lot for Harford County Public Schools, but he also in the district and then the state championships, and he will also in the summer league represent Bel Air Athletic Club.
Yeah, credit to him. Here we are in the lane, I should say heat 6, and this is the big one. Alexis Sakers, Bohemian Manor, lane 1. Julie Everett, lane 2. She's from Patterson Mill. C. Milton Wright's Hannah Silcox, the top seed freshman from C. Milton, is in lane 3. Abby Schneider, lane 4. She's from Falston, a freshman. Bel Air sophomore Lydia Loftus, and then Elkton's Sadie Cooper in lane 6.
Yeah, it's a two-person race right now in the middle of the pool, lane 3. Hannah Silcox from C. Milton Wright. That's a beautiful shot coming in. You can see the coordination of this and the big turn going back home. Full pull out off the wall, and it's right in the middle of the pool. It's going to be won or lost.
Silcox and Schneider. Silcox closer to you. Silcox a little bit further in lane 4. Here they come.
Snyder with a little bit more reach right now. Finish. I think lane 4.
Yeah, that's Abby Schneider from Falston. And Hannah Silcox, a freshman, C. Milton, in lane 3. And again, the difference is what, 20 points for the win, and second place is
16.
16. So it's a 4-point difference, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're C. Milton and you're desperate for every point you can get to try to catch Patterson Mill.
Yep, a couple points makes a difference.
So I'm not going to call it. I'm with you. It looked like Snyder may have touched first, but I couldn't tell. It could have been Silcox.
Yep, and just moments away from the final results, and we're going to be lining up these relays right away. We're going to stick right here and go into our last event and give you an update. This is a rather, each swimmer in 2 heats here is going to swim 100 free. So it's a little bit longer event. The fastest time here is going to be just around 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes. And the first heat is going to be our slowest of the 2 heats.
Yeah. And each swimmer goes 4 times, 2 times up and 2 times back?
Yep.
So a total of 16 lengths of the pool?
Correct.
Well, and it is like you say, it's a sprint, yeah, because each of these young people is going to be going all out in the freestyle. And again, I just can't emphasize how important this is. Patterson Mill is seeded number 1. Their team of Milstead, Lickenbach, Lomas, and Everett. Lomas already having 2 individual championships. They are the top seed in lane 3. C. Milton Wright right behind them in lane 2. And then lane 4, Bel Air. So the top 3 teams competing for the championship all together in the pool in lanes 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and you know,
who wrote this? Did you write this script?
The script doesn't get any better than this.
Amazing.
Yeah, and interestingly, you know, we as coaches, we look at since you can only put your best swimmers in 2 of the 3 relays. Okay, so you know, come down here. Where do you put your swimmers? Do you put them in early, or do you save them for the very end? Looks like all 3 teams saved their best swimmers for this last race, so we are going to have one whale of a finish.
Yeah, Lomas, the senior, who's already won 2 for Patterson Mill. The Huskies, as we said, won last night, the boys event, won it big, and the word was, can they hold on? And right now, it's still, can they hold on?
Yep, and
I just want to thank everyone, Harford Cable Network, for their efforts in coming here and taping this. Not an easy event to tape. The humidity inside that pool area just tremendous, and you know, the logistics involved in being able to do it. Dennis Cassidy, our director, and all the guys who have just done a great job as always. Yeah,
you know, you got to bring your cameras in early and let them acclimate to the humidity in the pool area, and temperature changes outside and inside, and it's pretty hot on the pool deck. We're fortunate we're getting to see this whole thing from outside.
Oh, stop. I wanted people to feel sorry for us. We're in this humidity. It's awful out here. Yeah, we're out in a nice hallway. We've got a monitor in front of us, and you know, it's just a wonderful thing. Again, with the folks at Magnolia for hosting us here, and Falston is the host school.
Yep.
You know, I love the fact that their students are doing a lot of the work. We had a young lady play the
national anthem.
The national anthem.
Yep.
Clarinet.
Yep.
Doing a great job there. So, and we also had a young lady who was the PA announcer.
Yeah, while we're recognizing some of the people, you know, we have to recognize the officials here tonight. They do a really nice job, and a tough position to be in, where you're making some tough decisions on the players to make it all very fair. And Mike Faulkner, who is running the table out there with all this official numbers and results. Mike does an outstanding job. I've been doing this for years and years and years. His kids are graduated, and they have kids now. And still, Mike comes around and does this for the county.
Phil Powers, one of my great high school buddies. Actually, he went to St. Stephen's School, but I won't hold it against him. We played ball together.
Wow.
Continuing as an official here, all volunteers. By the way, we do have lanes 2, 3, 4, and 5 occupied. This is the slower of the two heats. It's first Aberdeen in lane 2, Elkton in lane 3, Edgewood in lane 4, Haverty Grace in lane 5. We don't want to minimize because, again, with only, 10 teams participating, how many points do we get? How many teams score?
All of them will score something at this point in this in the relay race.
So again, it might come down, and I don't want to exaggerate. It might come down to just a hair's breadth. And again, we talk about the faster heat coming up. That's the second heat, and with Bel Air, Patterson Mill, and C. Milton Wright, 2, 3, and 4 all together in that middle of that pool.
And I can't emphasize more the importance of these exchanges. Here we've had in the last freestyle relay, we had 3 teams disqualified for leaving early off the blocks. So this is going to be really important in this last heat that the swimmers get the coordination of the touch and the takeoff happening simultaneously.
It is amazing, and again, this is the slower of the two heats. We're waiting for that to. Oh, and Tom, our cameraman, getting a nice close-up shot, and as we saw, got sprayed a bit there. Tom is a dedicated young man. He's doing a nice job.
It's a pool. Everybody, I come home and my wife looks at me every night from practice, and she said, "Why are you soaked?"
Did you fall in or what?
Yeah, exactly. It's like every time they do a flip turn, I would get drenched.
Now here we go. Now that's looks like the lane 2 is in the lead. That's Aberdeen. Miriam Fountain, Sophia Gomes, Simone Parker, and Margaret Wang. I think it's probably Simone Parker. Sorry, Simone. We get these names just before the event, so I'll plead no time to check the pronunciations. We're just hoping that we come as close as we can. Again, this is the final event of the evening. It's the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay, with the points just too close to count, not only in terms of who's going to win the girls' event, but the overall score combining with last night's score on the Tuesday night where the boys' championship was staged, this being a Wednesday night.
Well, Don, if my numbers hold up here, and again, please, we'll wait for the official final score, but what I have at the moment going into the final event is C. Milton Wright actually taking the overall lead for the first time tonight.
Wow.
567 points. Patterson Mill, 560.5, so only 6.5 points separate them now, but a little bit of reversal. And then Bel Air at 553, and we're talking about only 13.5 points separating them from.
That's crazy. I mean, it just, again, we talked about a script being written, and this is as good as it gets. And as we think about, the relay, the danger of just getting over anxious because you know how important it is and just jumping in too soon and getting a DQ'd, and then you get no points.
Right.
And that could be the entire difference between even being second or third.
Right, and it's so rare that a championship meet comes down to the very last relay, the very last event between 3 schools.
Yeah.
And literally any one of the 3 could end up as your 2020 champion.
Exciting. It does not get much better. And again, I want to thank all the folks who helped make this possible, and Hartford Cable Network doing its usual great job bringing you the action here from Magnolia Middle School as we're watching the finishing of the slower of the 2 heats and paving the way now for the ultimate challenge in terms of who can win the 2020 UCBAC championship here in Magnolia Middle School.
We call that what, the penultimate? The top of the heap here.
The top of the heap.
The zenith of
the pinnacle.
Yeah, the pinnacle.
Yeah, we'll come up with more words here. That's about,
no more synonyms in the list here.
Where is Yogi Berra when we need him?
Exactly.
But just remember, it ain't over until it's over.
Right, till the fat lady.
I think that was Dick Mata who said that, actually. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense when I think about it. It ain't over till it's over.
Right.
That makes perfect
sense to me.
Yogi's favorite was, I think, nobody goes to that restaurant anymore. It's too crowded.
Right.
And it makes perfect sense to me.
Yep, works.
Nobody I know goes there because it's just too crowded. Well,
as we start off this last race, let me give you the quick results of the 100 back breaststroke. As we projected, Abby Schneider was the winner by 12/100ths of a second.
Wow. Over
Hannah Silcox, Abby being from Falston with a 1:11.42, and with Hannah Silcox from Seamilton Wright 1:11.54. Bo Manners, Alexis Sakers 1:14.33, followed by Lydia Loftus, Julia Everett, and Sadie Cooper, and Erin O'Leary. Okay, this is it.
This is it. It is.
We are in the water.
It's C. Milton Wright in lane 2. It's Patterson Mill in lane 3. It's Bel Air in lane 4. Again, it is the 400-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer goes 4 times, up twice, 2 times, and back 2 times. First of all, let's give you the swimmers for C. Milton Wright. The lead swimmer, Jamie Hansen, sophomore. Patterson Mill's Mackenzie Milstead, and Bel Air's Emily Fatkin. They are the lead swimmers, the lead-off swimmers, I should say. They'll be touching here, and then going into the pool second will be Hannah Silcox for C. Milton Wright. It'll be Sarah Lingenbach for Patterson Mill and Lydia Loftus for Bel Air. Right now, it looks like a dead heat between C. Milton Wright and Patterson Mill in lanes 2 and 3. C. Milton Wright in 2, Patterson Mill in 3. Looks like Patterson Mill with just a little bit of a lead there in lane 3.
Yep, and but in lane 2, we had a nice turn, and we're right there on her shoulder.
Lane 2 is C. Milton Wright. Lane 3, Patterson Mill. Too close to even. This is the second leg of the 4 legs. Patterson Mill, Lingenbach, C. Milton Wright, Silcox. It looks like it's a 2-person race at this point, or a 2-team race, I should say. And it looks like lane 2, Patterson Mill has, or C. Milton Wright, I should say, has taken a little bit of a lead. Into the water. C. Milton Wright, lane 2, it's Deidre McCaskey. And lane 3, it's Julia Everett for Patterson Mill. Tom getting right in there again.
Yep, and lane 3 is...
and here we come down to the anchor leg.
Yep, Patterson Mill with...
it's a dead heat.
Yep, no doubt.
Wow.
Another good turn. Looks like my projection here would be Patterson Mill's going to have the lead going into the anchor swimmers. Yep, starting to see the
Patterson Mill lane 3. They do have about a body length lead. Waiting for Katrina Lomas from Patterson Mill in lane 3 to jump in, and Kaylor Blair from C. Milton Wright.
You see the takeoffs here.
Perfect.
Appears to be very clean.
Patterson Mill, Katrina Lomas already with 2 wins. She's in lane 3. C. Milton's Kaylee Blair. Wow. Look at her go. That's Katrina Lomas in lane 3.
Yep, two-time champion already tonight.
C. Milton Wright's Kaylee Blair. Can she catch her? I don't think so. Last turn.
One last 50.
Boy, this is amazing. These two teams battling it out.
And we can hear the rumbling in the stands.
The winner gets 40 points. The second place finisher gets 34. That's a 6-point difference. That could spell the difference. Lomas with the lead.
Oh, here we go. Can she hang on? She's getting challenged.
Blair and Lomas. Lomas with about a half a body length. Lomas.
To the wall.
I'm
my goodness.
Sure. I'm just not sure.
It looks like it was. It was.
Lomas.
I can tell by Alan Hurlinger's C. Milton Wright reaction that it was Belair who actually, I'm sorry, Patterson Mill that actually touched out Belair at the wall.
Wow, that was so close. That was Katrina Lomas for Patterson Mill and C. Milton Wright's Kaylee Blair battling down to the last inch to see who won. And I don't really
fractions of a second. We don't want to go there yet.
Not going to guess.
No.
Now let's assume that Patterson Mill won, so that gives them 40 more points. We're going to do some math on our own here.
586.5.
And C. Milton Wright would get 34.
No.
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 Well, according to our unofficial stats, very unofficial, assuming that Patterson Mill did win, 586.5.
They could hang on to be our victors on the combined county championship. We'll just hang in there and see what they tell us.
We will. Let me ask the folks in the booth, do we want to?
We want to take a break?
We'll do interviews. Do you want to take a break until we get our finals? All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll have those final results for you in just a moment.
I'm with Katarina Lomas, the champion, dual champion tonight. Katarina, congratulations. Great meet. What events, Katarina, were you champion tonight?
I was champion in the 200 IM, 500 freestyle, and the 400 freestyle relay.
Okay, let's talk us through the championships tonight. Came in as the favorite. How did it feel? You know, what were you thinking about as you entered each one of those events?
In the 200 IM, I knew that my competitors had a couple seconds behind me, but meanwhile, they were really doing great during the whole race, and I was really surprised that everyone was pushing so hard, so it really motivated me to do my best. In the 500 free, I knew it was going to be a tighter race, so I was really coming into it with the expectations of what I had to do and what I needed to overcome to get my goal times and get the times that I wanted to get. And then in the 400 freestyle relay, I was very concerned. I knew that we had some really great competitors. The C. Milton relay team is absolutely amazing, and it really pushed us to where we needed to be. It was great.
That last relay came down to 2/100ths of a second, a touch out. So talk to me a little bit about how that felt with you and your relay team.
The whole time before the race, we were all saying this is each of us. It's not just one person. It's not the last link. It's not the first link. Every person needs to give their absolute best in this race. And we all knew what we needed to do, and we were all supporting each other and cheering each other on the whole time. And it was just a great race. And during that last 25, I was quite terrified, to be honest. But I knew that I had to keep pushing because it was for my team. It was bigger than just me. It was for the whole team. And I'm very glad that the outcome was the way it was. We had great competitors. You guys have a great team.
Great race.
Yeah.
Great. It was a great race, Katarina. Great championships. You're truly a champion tonight. Congratulations.
Thank
Going to turn to the folks from C. Milton Wright, Randy Slotnick and Alan Hurlinger. Randy, Alan, wow. You know, what else can you say? Never in the history of the Harford County Public School Championships have we had an outcome like this, okay?
Half a point, I can't believe it.
It was a half a point. Came down to that last relay.
Out of 600.
Anything could have happened, right? What were you guys thinking as it happened? Alan, I saw your reaction. What was going through your head?
Well, we had already talked to the team ahead of time that first place you win by 12.5, second place you win by half a point, DQ you don't. And we just said safe starts, swim the best that you can, and the outcome is the outcome. And they were amazing. The competition with Patterson Mill for the last 2-3 years has been the most fun competition that we've had. I mean, I just love their team. They got great spirit. I love how hard our team works, and they work their butt off.
They
at
really
the end.
did. This whole season was a challenge. We had one of our top swimmers break their wrist and miss half the season. Another one of our top swimmers, Thomas Cowan, wasn't able to make it last night because he came down with the flu or mono, I heard. And we knew we were going to be down a lot of points. We asked the other swimmers on our team to really step up, and they were concerned that we didn't really have a chance because we knew it would be a close meet even with our best swimmers in it. And when we lost Thomas, we knew we'd really have to step up, and we're just so excited that all of our kids, all of our guys last night had, oh my God, best times, and then the races tonight, the girls and our other girls that weren't at the top, but in the middle really moved up in the standings to score points for us, and that was awesome.
Yeah, so many times these championships come down to people that are not your very top swimmers, but actually the folks that are scoring points, getting places down lower, but are moving up and taking places that are higher up. You had a lot of that.
Our first practice after we cut down to our team, the coaches pulled the depth over and said, Counties is one here. It's going to be one right by here.
Right.
And they came through all throughout the season. Their times kept dropping, and how they performed in this meet was just wonderful. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of the team.
They raced the races. That last race, even though we lost by 0.02 of a second, kind of personified our entire team this year. It was, they raced, and whatever the outcome was, they finished the race, and it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, in a year of a lot of different happenings for C. Milton Wright. You had a streak that went a long time, and this year it upset a couple times in dual meets. But today, as you said, the time when people need to step up, what did they do? Step up.
And this was our focus. The streak could go on, but our focus was win counties. That's what people remember, not the streak.
We have a lot of young swimmers on our team, a lot of young female swimmers, girl swimmers this year, freshmen. They didn't know what this was all about, and I think this was such a great meet. I hope more swimmers come out, some more year-round swimmers that don't want to swim high school. I really want to use this platform as encourage them to come out and swim high school. There's nothing like this type of meet, these type of races. You can't get that anywhere else but high school swimming. So if you're watching this broadcast and you're a year-round swimmer and you're a freshman or sophomore, junior, or going to be a senior next year, come out and swim for your high school. It's such a great experience. It really is.
Yeah, there's nothing like repping your high school. I mean, you can say a lot of things about what you get from things like summer swimming and USA swimming, but high school, it's special, right? It is special.
Can't get any better than this.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Great meet. I'm going to bring in Don Morrison to wrap us up for tonight, but congratulations, great meet. Good job.
Thank you for giving us the time.
Katerina, great job.
Well, it was a wonderful meet. I mean, great interview. Katrina Lomas, what a champion she is.
She is. She is just a wonderful person, and what a student athlete. It's epitomizes what it means to be a student athlete here in Harford County.
There we talk about sports, and we talk about high school sports, and how better could it have been, down to 0.5 of a point in terms of C. Milton Wright surviving and winning their 11th straight county championship. Even though they didn't win the girls' meet, Bel Air won that, and the boys' meet, Patterson Mill won that. They win the overall championship.
Yeah, unprecedented results tonight. Like you said, you can't get, how they said, you can't get any better than this. This is what Swim Championships is all about, and I'm glad that we were part of it.
I am too, and I'm glad that it really happened. We didn't make it up.
No, we didn't. Nope. And we were trying to keep the mental math going all the way to the end, and we had it pegged.
Well, Larry, great job as always. Thank you so much, and thanks for tuning in to Harford County High School Sports on the Harford Cable Network. Again, it is C. Milton Wright, the champions again overall. Patterson Mill winning the boys championship, and Bel Air winning the girls championship. From our partner, Larry Dukes, I'm Don Morrison. Good night, everyone.